Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this because this is where Gensler talks about tokenized assets becoming a security. Take a listen.
Chair Gensler, we continue to hear about the benefits of tokenization and have seen large asset managers like Franklin Templeton use blockchain to digitize their assets. The SEC has approved several of these products. Do you see any evidence that the savings realized by the asset issuers is being passed on to the consumer?
I'm not familiar enough with any one of the projects, but regardless of where somebody stores their ledger, if they tokenize security, an equity, a bond, or an investment contract, it's important to make sure that the investors and the investing public have the disclosures they need. But just putting something on a tokenization, on a blockchain ledger, doesn't change the economics. It's whether it's a good investment. And
Thank you.
You really don't know if something is a good investment right out of the gate. Usually you got to give it a little bit of time, and then you could tell whether or not something is a good or bad investment. But when Gary doesn't answer the question fully like that, what he's doing is he's creating that idea that there could possibly be a problem going down the road, even as far as tokenized assets. That's why I'm hoping by the time tokenization really starts to pick up momentum, somebody new is at the SEC. Now, what about creating your own XRP? How about 100 billion XRP? Take a listen to this.
Went into sort of a beta period where we allowed people access to the ledger, and there was this thought that we might reset the ledger or we might not, and we just never did that. So here's another hilariously funny bit. If you fire up the XRP ledger software yourself today and you don't connect it to the network, it will create a new Genesis ledger. It'll create a new blockchain from scratch. That's what it does if you don't tell it to do anything else. And there will be 100 billion XRP in the sort of Genesis account, and you can transfer it. The password is well known. I think it's master password. So the password generates a private key. You just use master as master.
Create my own XRP right now.
You can. And so this is the hilarious part. When we opened that ledger to the public during the beta, there was still money in the master account. No one had emptied it. So you can just connect to the software and just take XRP just the same way the founders did, the same way Ripple, the same way the founders did. You could just take money out of that Genesis account. And people did. And nobody emptied it. They just took like what they needed to experiment. And those people still have XRP today that they just took out of that Genesis account.
So think about creating a Genesis account and just gifting yourself 100 billion XRP. And that comes directly from David himself. But the thing is, the XRP that we invest in, and Ripple's never going to go back and create another 100 billion XRP. That doesn't even make sense. And I don't see them ever even wanting to do that. But it's funny that David laughs about that. Like, hey, you could just go and do this whenever you feel like doing it. But, that's how David Schwartz is. Caroline Ellison sentenced to 24 months in prison. She must also forfeit about $11 billion earned from FTX. The judge has also approved her serving the sentence in a minimum security facility. So what do you think of Caroline Ellison's sentence? Put it in the comments section down below. JP Morgan representative confirms that SWIFT is moving to DLT and token-based rails. Take a listen to this.
I agree with all of her observations in terms of cross-border payments continues to remain challenging. Domestic payment infrastructures have improved by leaps and bounds. UPI in India, PIX in Brazil, and many more have delivered instant payments 24/7. Cross-border is where the challenges continue to lie. It relies on correspondent banking banks like us, are the ones who are running the rails, but there are obvious challenges in an account-based model. So we firmly believe that message-based infrastructure, which is what powers the card networks, SWIFT, will give way to token-based infrastructure going forward. And that is where DLT can play a very useful role in terms of these token-based pipes. We do think that the future of payment networks is going to be open loop. So closed loop networks like wallets, which have done a really good job where payment infrastructure has been found wanting to create a rich user experience. I think that will give way to open loop. Already wallet companies like Paytm in India are struggling ever since UPI has come on board. I think the same story is going to repeat with Alipay and every other wallet company.
So take notice to what he said. When it comes to cross-border payments, there's problems with the rails. So it's time to call in RippleNet to fix the rails, upgrade the rails so real-time payments can occur. Big moves in the world of global finance. JP Morgan Chase just joined the BIS Project Agora, and this is a game changer. Project Agora is all about tokenized assets and modernizing cross-border payments. And now with JP Morgan in the mix, the stakes just got a lot higher. But here's the kicker. Ripple is right in the middle of it all. Ripple is part of the BIS Cross-Border Payments Interoperability Task Force, working alongside giants like MasterCard and SWIFT. Leading the charge for Ripple is Rene Huijin, a veteran in real-time payments. While Project Agora hasn't officially said XRP is being used, let's be real. Ripple's technology, especially the XRP ledger, is tailor-made for this kind of global payment overhaul. And that's why JP Morgan is jumping on board with the BIS. We also know that the BIS sees XRP and XLM as the future. It's all coming together perfectly. Boom, share this video. DTC just confirmed retail has the upper hand on institutions for the first time in history. Take a listen.
So as one famous Bostonian once said, the institutions are coming, right? And we're starting to see progress where more certainty in the market is helping institutional adoption, such as the approvals of FIT21, other instruments, both ETH and Bitcoin, spot ETFs. Those have been super helpful in pushing the movement forward. It just shows you there's pinned up demand. It is pushing through. There's a couple of things that are a little bit different about this. This is the first time in our history where we've seen actually retail lead and institutional follow, but the certainty that we're getting right now from the regulatory and
that's why I keep telling you, this opportunity right now is the biggest opportunity in anyone's lifetime, because for the first time in history, retail has the upper hand on the institutions. And once the institutions jump on board, watch how fast the prices of these cryptocurrencies change overnight. We're going to get institutional adoption, which will lead to mass adoption. Boom, the CEO of Japan's premier bank has officially declared this is the future. Take a listen to this.
Actually, Japan is a very, very cash-oriented society. Surprisingly, yeah. People think we are kind of advanced, but by the way, I come from Japan. But the percentage of digital payments of all the transactions is actually only 19%. So it's actually kind of national agenda to increase digital payments. And the government encourage banks to innovate so that they can increase digital payments ratio. So now what we are doing in Japan is we created a consortium of more than 50 banks to come together to develop a completely new payments platform or infrastructure powered by Ripple's distributed ledger technology, which basically replaced the existing domestic payments system called the Zengin system, and also can be applied for cross-border payments as well.
And that contrasts with Zelle, which is a fantastic enterprise.
Exactly.
It's built.
Take notice how they said that they're going to utilize Ripple's DLT platform, and they're also going to utilize XRP. It all starts in Japan and Korea. It seems like they are fast tracking into the digital age. and the US is lagging behind every step of the way. Big boy price cut in Florida, and you see the price cuts on houses. And you know what I noticed? I talked about this. I said, right here, where is it? I gotta find it. I said they will go much lower. I expect 2005 prices after the crash of 2025 happens. Good news for crypto investors. You will most likely be a cash buyer at that point. We know the recession is coming. And, you know, we're already starting to see house prices fall. And that's going to coincide with this next major run-up. It's going to coincide with old season. It's the same reason I keep telling you, you know, if you're looking to get into real estate, you want to buy the bottom. You don't even want to buy now. Wait until it falls even more. And I still think once we have the reset of the current financial system as we go into the new financial system, everything's going to be reevaluated. We're not going to see the prices like we're seeing today. And a lot of the reason why these houses are at these price points is because of inflation, because the US dollar is becoming worth less more and more all the time. That's why everything is so expensive. Job openings are falling off a cliff. Same thing is happening there. Such sharp drops have only occurred 3 times since 2000, the dot-com bubble, financial crisis, and the pandemic. All of them ended with a sharp economic downturn. And you could expect that to happen again. And it's happening by design. You know, the US is still spending a ton of money, even though that we have $35 trillion worth of debt. They're just going to continue to spend more and more money. Unrealized losses by US banks 7 times higher than 2008 financial crisis. Now, when you see all this data, you ask yourself, what is going to crash first? Is it going to be the banks? Is it going to be the real estate markets? What is going to be the first domino? And we know the banks are going to collapse. It's all part of the Great Reset. And all of a sudden, the bigger banks are just going to absorb all these smaller banks. And that'll be the easy transition over to central bank digital currency. But you know what's worse than talking to a Bitcoin maxi? Talking to someone that isn't invested in crypto. They believe everything that they see on the mainstream media news. I got in an argument earlier today with a bunch of people that aren't crypto investors. And real estate investors are even worse, because real estate investors think that the price is going to all of a sudden just do a turnaround and it's going to jump another 50%. You can't even find buyers for houses right now. They priced everyone out. And they always believe that the US dollar's getting stronger while the government continues to spend us into a debt eternity. You know, and at the same time, you have BRICS coming for the dollar. So because you're a crypto investor, you know all of this is already happening. Because once you become a crypto investor, all of a sudden you start to learn about the Great Reset because it plays a factor on your investment. You start to learn about CBDCs because it plays a factor on your investment. Even with something like this, where we could fall into recession, that's going to factor in on your investment. I think recession is going to be held off long enough for this current cycle to play its course. I think we're going to see an absolutely fantastic run up for Bitcoin and all these altcoins as well. But at the same time, we're going to be slipping into that recession at the same time. And that's why I think that real estate is going to fall a lot way down. I think it's going to go down to most likely prior to 2008 price points, because it coincides with what's going on with the banks, and it coincides with what's going on with the US dollar as well. Everything seems like it's orchestrated for this current financial system to fall apart so a new one can rise from the ashes. But we'll have a better understanding on what's going to happen as we push into the future. I know all roads lead to XRP. That's why I am not worried at all. As everything falls apart, we are going to get rich off of our crypto investments. We're going to get rich off of XRP. And I kept saying, we're not even going to be valuing XRP in US dollars. We're going to be valuing XRP and what one XRP can buy you at some point. Because the US dollar is already on the path to lose reserve currency status. And as that continues, eventually we're going to see a level playing field worldwide, a global level playing field. That's what the new financial system offers. It's the same reason that these crypto companies like Ripple and Stellar are set to bank the unbanked, level the entire playing field. Every single person in the world is going to have access to the new financial system. And once that new financial system goes live, us as XRP investors, we are going to get very rich. But until it happens, you gotta stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm gonna wrap up this video. I wanna thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.